Hello again. I'm not really sure how this one's going to go. There are two little parcels in front of me. I've been watching some of the YouTube channels, some other people's stuff. A lot of people do these unboxing things which seem to be popular. But I must say, since I do English-based modelling or British rail-based modelling, I have been up to now getting my stuff off eBay. The problem is with eBay though, although some of the prices are reasonably cheap for the articles, for the locomotives or the wagons or whatever it is, the postal charges are really getting silly. Most of the people seem to have gone to the standard eBay charges. Now in England they're okay, I presume. I don't know what they are because I'm in France. But here the minimum charge seems to be about £15. And they all come in the same. They all come in at 13, 14, 15, some of them 20 quid. Which is considerably more than whatever the article is I want to buy. Although the articles, as I say, are getting more expensive these days. I think people's idea of what things are worth is going up and up. Wonder where that will stop. Anyway, so the problem is I don't have all that much money to throw around at the moment. And so buying something to do for YouTube is quite difficult. Anyway, so lately I've been looking at eBay France with respect to things I could possibly do on YouTube, and I came across this thing. I hope this is the one. There are going to be 3 parcels. That's going to be, I hope, the second one, and the third one hasn't arrived yet. The third one's actually the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, but that hasn't arrived, as I say. So this is the first thing that I saw. Now all of these parcels, there are going to be 3 of these parcels in this or subsequent videos, and they all cost €20 about, that's all, including the postage. Some of them are 25, some of them are 22, but that's it. So not that expensive. And this one, well, this is what started me off anyway. And this is what it is. I'm going to open it now, because with these opening things you can only do it live, because once you've done it, you've done it. You can't sort of wrap it back up again, it looks a bit silly. So this is it. I'm going to put that one in, put that out of the way. So here, this thing, I haven't seen these before. I haven't, as you can see, unwrapped any of them. There's a box. That's quite heavy. It looks, the photographs are really awful on the, and it's supposedly HO scale. It is, and it is, it's very old. It is a class 21. This is a class 29, of course. This is actually D6100, which is the first one. Oh. As you can see, yes, the scale is completely weird. If that's HO, it's very, very similar. Right, I'll put them on the same thing. I'll put it the same way around as well, so the actual things line up. It's horrible, but I just had to get it because it's all-wheel drive. I couldn't believe it. It's a very, very old model. but it is British rail. It's not Hornby or anything like that. It's actually Juef, one of the French companies. The mind boggles. It's all metal, no traction tyres. I have no idea which wheels will actually pick up on this, and of course I don't even know if it's 12 volts, because there were 6 volt models in the old days. However, what I'm going to do with this thing, and what's going to follow, is just show you some really weird stuff that we get in Europe. Bollocks. Telephone. Now then, I'll say it straight away. I've just tested this with 12 volts and it doesn't work. Nothing happens. So what we're going to do is take it a bit straight away and have a look what's in it. All of these things I've ordered for 20 euros, or bought for 20 euros. I've never seen inside them. I have no idea what they are. I have no idea how to open this one. There might be some screws somewhere, there might not be. It's heavy. It's not as heavy as that one, but it is heavy. It's probably a clips thing somewhere. Do we think there's clips? I'll be back in a minute, because this is actually cracked. I think somebody's been trying to do that before. There's no screw in the top here. So, yeah, somebody's had a go. Look at this, it's been cracked. Somebody's had a go at getting the top off there before. That's cracked. If you can see that, somebody's had a go at that and it's cracked. That'll be alright in the end. It looks as if it's going to be very difficult to get off. I'll just switch the camera off and try and get this thing apart. Well, after 10 or 15 minutes of trying not to break this, I have found that on this end it's been split there as well as there, so I've been trying very hard to get it off. But under the yellow paint here, there is actually, I've scraped that off, there's a little screw in there, tiny one. I'll just see if we can get that off. Will it turn? Yeah, it will. Right all under that yellow paint, completely goes up, as if it looked. There we are. Well, look at that. So as you can see, already European French, if you will, models, one at the other end as well. Because I've been trying to levering it up and this, that and the other, and I could not get it off. So get some of the paint out of there. Unusual. Tight. There we are. And out it comes. So it's got glass all around, well, got plastic in the windows all around. All as original. The buffers are rubbish, so they are over, but they're not well. I'll say this I'm going to strip back. I'll put that there so you can't see it. I'm going to strip this back. My favourite technique for taking paint like this, or anything I don't know about, without damaging the plastic, is brake fluid, which I've been using very successfully. You just get a plastic bowl or bucket or something, chuck a load of brake fluid in there, and several hours later there's no paint on there. So you can do what you want with it. Now look at this little beauty. What a machine. That's nothing like Hornby or Bachmann or anything else, is it? Good grief. I say this is quite an old model. There we are. And the teeth on here are fairly used. Obviously these must be pickups here. So it seems that, yes, in actual fact, this bogey is pickups and this one is not. I wonder why not. So obviously, I hold this up so I can try and get the screwdriver. So pickups 1, 2, and under here, you can see this one going under here. There's 2 little contacts under this motor. So I shall have a quick look at how this is going to work. Now, supposing I put 12 volts to there, I wouldn't mind knowing if this motor is actually that's not very good. That is moving up and down. I think that is supposed to be held in. I shall get 12 volts. I shall do that with that. I shall if I can find the right wires. With these wires here. And whilst I was getting into a mess. Don't matter which way it's going to go. However, it's going to, if I put this, it isn't switched on yet, so if I just hook that, there are 2 little holes there, I shall hook that. Trying to do it for the camera, I'll do it for myself first. There are 2 little holes, there's one. And there is, go on, in you go, the 2 tiny little holes. There we are, so that's connected to the motor. And if I switch on the juice, it works. You can see the it's down at 5 volts. If I'm pressing on the front one there, more of that. So it is going to work, except that the motor isn't held down. I'm pushing quite hard with my thumb on there to get that. Yeah, it's losing it completely. What an amazing thing. Let's switch that off. That's been a good start. I bet you money you've never seen anything like that. The reason I'm doing all this is because I have never seen anything, and wait till you see the other ones in the other boxes, especially the one that hasn't arrived yet. All for 20 odd euros. And I've never seen anything like this at all. So while I'm taking the mechanics of this thing to bits to sort out the motor mounts and everything else, here is the brake fluid, which of course you can use. This is actually old brake fluid that I've used when I've been bleeding brakes through. Keep it because it's always useful. There we go, and that will just about fit. It does get it all over your hands as well. Doesn't worry me much, but get it off off later. I'll stick that there. Some paper. That's it. Of course it unglues all the glue if there is any glue or something, you know. It does. It takes a while, but it doesn't damage the plastic in any way. At all. So let's just leave that like that. Put the top on here so it doesn't go all over the place. Put that on the floor somewhere, put it out of the way. Let's put it down there. Ooh. No, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see me. Let's put this over there for how long it takes. If, as it happens, you do ever see me in any of these pictures at the moment, this stuff here is because I haven't been to the hairdresser since February of 2020. I don't mind, I've always used to have long hair, but it's a bit of a mess, hard luck. That's the way it goes. Right then, here we are with the both bogies off. I say this one was stuck into the tool so hard I had to put it back onto the thread and pull it out that way. Here are the pickups. Now the big problem with this is, you can see that this one here is actually lower down. They've got little brass connectors in there, and one of them is missing, I think. That's why it's low. They're not. The spring is just the brass pushing down. I'll take this one out. Right. Yeah, effectively there's no little brass thing in there at all. So they just push onto the axles, onto that part. Get that out, yeah. Anyway, there we have it. I'll put it down there. That little rod goes through. So all I've got to do is find a brass bolt or something, anything will do. Yeah, the hole's empty. The other two are there though. Put that back in. All going to have to be cleaned up, of course. There's no grease on there at all. It's completely dry. The coupling mounting is broken off. So that's that lot. Now then. I've managed to get these two little nuts off just with that. The heads, there are no heads on it of any kind of, they seem to be melted in there some way. That's obviously got to come off there like that, and then that comes away from there. So there's the chassis. Oh, I can see one of the reasons why. There are the contacts for the motor there, and I can see already that this one here is bent down with respect to that one, I suppose, and they're quite clean. There are no markings on this thing at all. Yes, it is. The this piece of black plastic here locates into that dent there, and then it goes into this dent here. So that's why it was wobbling around so much. What we're going to do about that I don't know. But all the rest of it seems vaguely in one piece. Right, it's some little while later, and as you can see, the paint and everything else has all come off here. It's quite... I'll use this little brush. You can see it, I hope. It's nearly all off. The yellow paint was terrible and it took ages to get off. But if you use, I found, if you use chemical products to loosen this stuff, it does actually, or it can often damage plastic or the plastic in the windows. Damage those. Just get a bit of, you could use gloves on this if you wanted to, but I don't, so not quite finished here, but I think it's it coming off there. Just slog a bit more on. In a few hours that will be finished. As you can see now, it's the actual plastic. Some reasonable detail. I must get some more British Rail old style transfers. Let's put that to one side. Now then, what I want to do, oops, don't get that on. Wipe this off. What I did want to do yesterday was to produce for this thing a little collar that'll go in here. It's 7mm, and this is going to get what's over it. This device here. The axle is 2mm. It's a millimetre thick. With my 3D printer I was going to make a little tube thing, a little axle was going to go in there about, well, I don't know, yay long. But of course I have two printers and neither of them work. One of them has been, they both use Octoprint. Octoprint has been updated. One of them doesn't work at all, and the other one has developed a weird problem on its motherboard. There's a flashing diode, diode 1, which is the load and emergency diode, and no one has any lists of what that means. So I'm currently trying to reflash Marlin 2 onto that, and we'll probably, I spent nearly all day yesterday fooling around with it. I've got the big one working, except that the Z's wrong. It's really good. Anyway, what I need now is to make that for this. I have actually finished this. If you remember there was a pin missing. Didn't make a contact to the wheels. What I did was I actually used, get these out. There. This is a copper nail. It's a boat thing. I used to have a wooden boat in the old days and I always keep everything. These are roves. You put the nail through the wood that you're going to fix, push the rove on, it's like a rivet. You bang that on and it's like a rivet. But of course these are lovely little things to make lights, street lights, to make whatever, and these square things, I just keep everything because they're so useful. The bigger ones are really big, well were, I haven't got any left now, it's been many years using them. You've got a square piece of copper, but for making electrical contacts they are superb. Now we go back to the A-net and try and get the 3D printer working. Right, back again. This is a couple of days later. I'm trying a different camera angle. First of all, here is the bodywork, no more paint on it. You can see, I think you can see the details. Yeah, it's alright. Would I paint this up? Actually make some buffers for it. I haven't actually got any British Rail transfers left, but anyway, it's very clean. One thing I did have to do, when you've used brake fluid on it and put it into a container, I found that the brake fluid is actually well underneath all these windows, plastic parts of the windows, and of course you've got to get it all out, because otherwise you're bound to get it on the paint that you're going to paint on it in to finish it off. So what I did was I filled up the container, emptied all the brake fluid out I could, fill up the container with warm water and left this in overnight, because as you know, brake fluid actually will soak up water, which is why your older cars don't work so well and you have to flush it out every so many years. And then at the end of it, when I've rinsed it out, I put that inside it and left that for a while, and that sucked out, by capillary reaction, what was left, and we've got a clean, dry piece of plastic to paint. So that's that bit. Let's put that there somewhere anyway. This bit I have rebuilt. I haven't cleaned the wheels off properly yet. I'm going to do that with the motor when it's in there. Here's the and there's the telephone ringing. Here is these have to be fairly tight in actual fact, but they're all bent up the right shape and cleaned off, and a little bit of oil. Here's my oil can. It's fork oil off my bike on there. And for this, which of course didn't, that there, I've actually made with my 3D printer eventually, which I got working in the end, this little part, which is 9mm by, and that bit goes through is 7, and the hole is 2.25, and it actually, hopefully, I can get that out of there, it's super glued into the hole. That there actually fits on there, and that, if I can get it in there, that goes, there's a pin got to go in here. So with the 3D printer grinding away in the background, here is the rebuilt chassis. One thing I did find was these two will slide up and down. They're only just on the end. They also won't go on. I wanted to put this one on the other way around so that the teeth that aren't slightly scraped will go on, but you can't. It's some kind of interference fit. This only goes on a certain distance. So okay. Plus you have to take all this off, this and this off, to get this in and then put it back again, because this piece here won't go underneath. It won't come off or won't go on. Anyway, it seems to fit and it does run. I've cleaned the wheels up a bit. So let's go over and put it on the track now and see if it'll actually do anything. So here we are on the threaded track. I have to lean over here, sorry about that, to switch over. In front of it, hard luck, you just look at my back for a while. It actually works, so I'm really pleased with that. It just is some amazing. And it's nicely built. It's completely different from Hornby or Bachmann or Triang or whatever. So all we've got to do now is make up the bodywork, stick it on, and we've got an engine, a locomotive that works. Right, now then. And having finished all I'm going to do for this time, because this has taken me This D6100 Class 21 has taken me a lot longer than I thought, especially with having to get the 3D printer, which is still printing away in the background, to work. So I'm just going to show you what's going to be in the next installment, if you like. So if I can just get myself a little knife. This also is a something a little different from Europe, French. And the third one, which I was talking about, has actually arrived, but it's arrived in the wrong place and I've got to go and get it. A lot of different packaging styles in this. There we go. So let's get that out of there. And let's not knock it all on the floor. Must be it. I think that's all that's in there. Yep, it is, and a receipt for €20 from eBay, and here it is. So very quickly, open this one up, and you'll have to wait till next time for me to get on with this. But it's another one of the there it is. Now, I used to have one of these in Belgium. And this one, as you can see, is even more bizarre. It's a similar system, but this one here and this one here are not connected. They actually have both got a motor in them. Now, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be original is supposed to be like that, but next time round we'll open this one up, which is a French locomotive, BB9201, and filthy dirty. And as I recall, these ones used to have working lights on them, but I can't actually see any connections to the lights inside. But anyway, that's going to be our next little project. It's really weird, that one is. I don't know if it works. We'll try that later on. So thanks for watching. It might have been a bit long, I don't know. I'm going to edit this in a minute later on. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time. Good grief, the size of the motors in there are huge.